Captain Aaron Kane moved quietly through the rocky valley, his boots making little sound on the dusty ground. The sun was low, casting long shadows over the battlefield. Around him, the sounds of war echoed, distant explosions, the sharp crack of energy weapons, and the low roar of alien voices. He was deep inside enemy territory, leading a small team of soldiers on a mission to gather intelligence. The enemy was the Xylar, a strange alien race unlike anything humans had ever seen. Their skin was a deep blue-green, and their eyes glowed faintly in the dark. They moved fast, and their technology was advanced. For years, humans and Xylar had fought bitter battles over planets and resources. Both sides believed the other was dangerous and untrustworthy. Aaron had learned to be careful. Every step he took was planned, every breath measured. His squad moved with him silently, scanning for any sign of danger. But something was wrong today. The air felt tense, heavier than usual. Aaron's instincts told him trouble was near. Suddenly, a sharp cry broke the silence. Aaron froze, signaling his team to stop. The cry came again, this time from the direction of a small clearing ahead. Carefully, he crept forward, peeking over a rock. What he saw made his heart race. In the clearing were several Xylar children, no more than 5 or 6 years old. They were huddled together, looking frightened. Around them stood a group of Xylar warriors, armed and alert. But the children were caught in the middle of a skirmish. On the far side of the clearing, a group of human soldiers were advancing, firing their weapons. One of the Xylar warriors shouted orders, but the humans did not stop. An energy blast suddenly flew toward the children. Aaron's eyes widened. Without thinking, he jumped out from behind his cover and shouted, "Move back!" He ran toward the children, pushing them to the ground just as the blast hit. The energy pulse struck Aaron full in the chest. He staggered but stayed on his feet. The pain was sharp, like fire burning beneath his armor. Around him, the battle froze for a moment. The Xylar warriors lowered their weapons, staring at Aaron with surprise and confusion. The human soldiers hesitated, unsure what to do. Aaron looked at the children, safe now behind him, and then at the enemy around him. He was the only shield between the innocent and the violence. "Why?" a voice whispered behind him. Aaron turned slowly to see a tall Xylar woman approaching. Her eyes were kind but fierce, and she carried herself with the calm power of a leader. This was Silara, the mother of the children and a respected figure among her people. Aaron's voice was weak but steady. "No one should be hurt, especially not children." Silara studied him carefully. "You risked your life to save ours." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. "I did what I thought was right." The battle tension seemed to ease in the clearing. For the first time in many months, humans and Xylar looked at each other without hate. But the war was not over yet, and Aaron knew his choice would change everything. The Xylar warriors helped Aaron to a safe place where he could rest. The pain in his chest was growing, and his breath came in short gasps. Silara stayed near him, her eyes never leaving his face. She spoke softly to the children, calming them. "Your strength is unusual, human," she said quietly. "Why did you protect my children?" Aaron looked at her and smiled faintly. "Because all lives matter, even enemies' children." Silara was silent for a moment. Then she nodded slowly. "Perhaps there is more to your kind than I thought." The sun set behind the valley, painting the sky with colors of orange and purple. The sounds of war faded into the night, replaced by the soft murmurs of the Xylar children and the careful breathing of a wounded soldier. Aaron Kane, a human captain who had taken a blow meant for the enemy's young, was now at the mercy of an alien mother. What would come next was uncertain, but one thing was clear. A new story had begun, one where courage and compassion might build a bridge between two worlds. The soft light of morning filtered through the tall crystal trees of the Xylar enclave. Captain Aaron Kane lay on a smooth stone platform, his chest still aching from the injury. The energy blast had left a deep wound, but the Xylar healers had used their advanced medicine to stop the bleeding and ease his pain. Still, Aaron knew his body was weak. The room was quiet, except for the gentle hum of Xylar healing devices. Aaron's thoughts wandered back to the moment he had saved the Xylar children. It was not a choice made lightly. War was brutal, and soldiers were taught to see enemies as threats, not as beings with children to protect. But something inside him had pushed him to act differently. Footsteps echoed softly outside the chamber. The door opened and Silara entered. She moved with grace and confidence, her bright blue-green eyes focused on Aaron. She wore a robe of shimmering silver fabric, marking her as a leader among her people. Aaron sat up slowly. "Good morning," he said, his voice still rough. Silara nodded but said nothing at first. She studied Aaron carefully, as if trying to understand the human before her. Finally, she spoke. "You are not like other humans we have fought," she said softly. "You took the blow meant for my young. That act has meaning in our culture." Aaron raised an eyebrow. "What does it mean?" "In Xylar society, protection is sacred," Silara explained. "To shield a child, especially an enemy's child, is a sign of honor and respect. It shows courage and compassion. You have earned a special place among us." Aaron felt a mixture of surprise and curiosity. "What place is that?" Silara stepped closer. "You are bound to me now. As protector to my children, you are part of my family." Aaron blinked, shocked. "You mean you want me to stay here?" "Yes," Silara said firmly. "You will live among us, learn our ways, and keep the children safe. In return, you will be under my protection. You will not be harmed." Aaron's mind raced. He had been a soldier all his life. His loyalty was to his team, to his people. But here, in the heart of enemy land, he was being asked to become part of the very culture he had been trained to fight against. "Why me?" Aaron asked. Silara's gaze softened. "Because you showed what many humans forget, that life is precious, even when it belongs to those you consider foes. You gave your strength to protect those too young to defend themselves. That is rare." Aaron swallowed. "And what about the war?" "The war continues," Silara said, "but your presence here may change its course. You could be a bridge between our peoples." Aaron looked out the window at the alien landscape. The sky was streaked with pink clouds, and distant mountains rose sharply against the horizon. For a moment he saw not enemies, but a world full of life, hope, and possibility. "I will do what I can," Aaron said quietly. Silara smiled. "Good. You will need to learn much. Our language, our customs, our beliefs. We will help you." Over the next days, Aaron's life changed completely. Xylar children came to visit him often, curious about the human who had saved them. They spoke in soft voices, their bright eyes full of wonder. Aaron smiled and tried to answer their questions. The Xylar warriors were cautious but respectful. Some nodded at Aaron, others simply watched silently. He could feel their eyes on him, measuring whether he was worthy of their trust. Silara visited, daily, teaching Aaron about Xylar history and culture. She explained the importance of family and community in their world. Unlike humans, the Xylar lived in tight-knit groups where every member cared for one another. One afternoon, as Aaron practiced walking without pain, Silara brought a small device to him. It was a translator, a tool that helped him understand Xylar speech and speak their language. "This will help you," she said. We want you to speak with us fully, not through gestures alone. Aaron took the device gratefully. Thank you. As he learned the language, Aaron began to see the world through Xylar eyes. He heard their stories of past wars, of losses and victories, and of their hopes for peace. He understood why they fought so fiercely to protect their children. It was not just a battle for land, but for survival and future. But not all Xylar were happy with Aaron's presence. Some elders whispered doubts and warnings. They saw Aaron as a human spy, a dangerous reminder of the enemy within their walls. One evening, during a council meeting, an elder named Tharun spoke out. We cannot trust a human among us, no matter his actions. This bond with Silara could weaken us. We must be careful. Silara listened, but did not respond angrily. Aaron has saved my children. That is not something to ignore. Tharun's eyes narrowed. But what if he betrays us? What if this is a trick? Silara stood firm. Then we face that when it comes. For now we will judge him by his deeds, not by fear. Aaron heard the words but did not speak. He knew his situation was fragile. Trust was something he had to earn every day. Back in his room, Aaron thought about his family on Earth. Would they believe what had happened? Would they see him as a hero or a traitor? He missed his home, but he also felt a strange connection growing with the Xylar. The children's laughter outside the window reminded him why he had acted as he did. They were the future, and maybe, just maybe, saving them was the first step towards something bigger, a peace neither side had dared to hope for. That night, as stars shimmered in the alien sky, Aaron lay awake. He was no longer just a soldier. He was a protector, bound by honor to an alien mother and her young. The path ahead was uncertain, but he was ready to walk it. Days passed in the Xylar enclave, and Captain Aaron Kane found himself walking a new path. The sharp pain in his chest had lessened, but the weight of his new role was heavy. He was no longer just a soldier fighting an enemy. He was now part of the Xylar community, connected by honor and trust to a mother and her children. Aaron woke early each morning to the soft glow of Xylar dawn. The light filtered through tall crystal trees, casting sparkling patterns on the ground. He often found Silara nearby ready to begin their lessons. Today she stood quietly waiting, her calm presence comforting. "Good morning, Aaron," she said in her clear voice. "Good morning, Silara," he replied, adjusting the translator device that rested on his collar. Their lessons were slow but steady. Xylar language was different from human speech, with sounds that sometimes made Aaron's tongue stumble. Yet he persisted. Words mattered, and understanding each other was the first step toward peace. Outside, the sounds of Xylar children filled the air. Aaron smiled as a small group ran past, their laughter bright and free. They no longer looked at him with fear, but with curiosity and trust. That trust was precious, and Aaron knew he had to protect it. Silara led Aaron through the enclave, explaining customs and stories from Xylar history. She told him about their ancient traditions, where the protection of family was the greatest duty. This value explained why Aaron's act had touched her deeply. As they walked, Aaron asked, "What is the Xylar hope for the future?" Silara looked toward the horizon, her eyes shining with quiet strength. "We want peace, not just between our people, but with all who share the stars." Aaron nodded thoughtfully. "Humans want peace too, but sometimes fear and anger make that hard," she smiled. "Yes, fear can build walls, but courage can build bridges." Aaron felt a spark inside him. He wanted to be that bridge. Meanwhile, news of Aaron's survival and bond with Silara reached the human military command. Some leaders were shocked and angry, calling him a traitor. Others saw a chance for peace and hoped to use Aaron as a symbol to end the war. In the Xylar enclave, Aaron's presence stirred mixed feelings. Some warriors admired him for his bravery. Others were suspicious, unsure if a human could truly change. One afternoon, a group of Xylar soldiers gathered near the training grounds. Their leader, Jarek, approached Aaron with a serious look. "We respect what you did," Jarek said, "but trust is earned. If you want to live among us, you must prove yourself." Aaron met his gaze steadily. "I understand. I am ready." Jarek nodded. "Then train with us. Learn how we fight and protect. Show that you are not just words." Aaron agreed. Though his human training was strong, Xylar combat was different, faster, with strange weapons and movements. He worked hard, falling and rising again, pushing his body beyond limits. Solara watched from the sidelines, proud of Aaron's determination. The children cheered him on, their excitement contagious. As days passed, Aaron grew stronger, learning to move like the Xylar warriors. But more important than physical strength was the bond he formed with the people around him. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Aaron sat with Solara near a glowing pool of water. The children played nearby, their joyful noise filling the air. "I never thought I would find a home here," Aaron said softly. Solara smiled. "Home is not always where we are born, but where we are needed." Aaron looked at her, feeling a warmth he had never known. "Thank you, Solara, for giving me a chance," she nodded. "Thank you, Aaron, for showing us that even enemies can become family." But outside the enclave, tension grew. The war was far from over, and not everyone wanted peace. On the human side, some commanders planned a new attack, believing that defeating the Xylar was the only way to secure safety. Aaron knew this news would hurt Solara and her people. He wanted to warn them, but he was a prisoner of war, bound by honor to both sides. One night, Aaron stood on a high cliff overlooking the valley. The stars shone bright above, and the silence was deep. He thought of the children, of the mothers and fathers who wanted only safety for their families. The war had taken so much already. He hoped his actions could save more than just lives. Maybe, just maybe, they could save the future. Aaron made a silent promise to himself. He would do everything he could to be a bridge across worlds, between humans and Xylar, between war and peace. The peaceful days inside the Xylar enclave were growing fewer. The uneasy calm that followed Aaron's arrival was slowly breaking. Rumors of Aaron's survival and his bond with Solara had spread far beyond the valley, stirring anger and suspicion on both sides of the conflict. In the Human Military Command Center, Captain Aaron Kane was no longer just a soldier. To some, he was a hero who had saved innocent lives. To others, he was a traitor who had abandoned his people. General Marcus. Hale stood in front of the large holographic map of the battlefield. His face was stern, eyes hard. The room was filled with officers debating the next move. "We can't allow this to continue," Hale said firmly. "Kane's actions have given the Xylar an advantage. It's time to end this war, but on our terms." A younger officer spoke up. "Sir, Kane could be used as a symbol to open peace talks. He has shown compassion." Hale shook his head. "We don't negotiate with the enemy, especially not when our soldiers are still dying." The debate continued, but a decision was made. An extremist faction within the military, unwilling to accept peace, planned a secret attack. Their goal was to destroy the Xylar children's sanctuary and break the spirit of their people. Meanwhile, inside the Xylar enclave, tension was rising too. The council was divided. Some elders praised Solara's decision to claim Aaron as protector, while others worried about the risk he represented. Tharun, the elder who had voiced his doubts before, stood again in the council chamber. "We must be cautious," he warned. Aaron is a human. His loyalty is uncertain. If the extremists attack, we will need every warrior ready. Solara responded calmly. I trust Aaron. He saved my children. He has proven his courage. The council's debate ended without clear agreement, but all knew the danger was near. Aaron felt the weight of these tensions deeply. He trained harder each day, preparing alongside Xylar warriors. He knew that if the extremists attacked, the children would be their target. One afternoon, as Aaron practiced with a weapon unlike any he had seen, Solara approached him. Aaron, she said softly, there is something I must tell you. Our scouts have seen unusual movements near the border. I fear the extremists are planning an attack. Aaron's face grew serious. We need to warn everyone and prepare. Solara nodded. We will, but time is short. That evening, Aaron walked among the Xylar children playing near the crystal trees. Their laughter was bright, but he saw the shadows behind their eyes, fear of what might come. A young girl, Mira, approached him. Will they hurt us, Aaron? Aaron knelt down and smiled gently. I will do everything I can to protect you. Mira's small hand slipped into his. Thank you. As night fell, the Enclave prepared. Xylar warriors checked their weapons and shared quiet words of encouragement. Aaron met with Solara and her closest advisors, planning their defense. We cannot let fear divide us, Solara said firmly. We must stand together. Aaron looked at the faces around him, the mother protecting her young, the warriors, ready to fight, the children depending on them. He felt a fierce determination. If the extremists come, they will find more than they expect, Aaron said. We will protect this place no matter what. The next day, scouts reported that enemy forces were approaching quickly. The extremists had gathered a strike team larger than anyone expected. Aaron and the Xylar warriors prepared traps and defenses around the Enclave. They worked through the night, setting energy shields and hiding in shadows. When the first enemy, ships appeared in the sky, the children were moved to safe shelters deep underground. Aaron stood beside Solara on a high ridge, watching the dark shapes descend. The battle was about to begin. Aaron's heart beat fast, but his mind was clear. He had chosen this path. He had chosen to protect these children, this family. As the enemy forces landed and moved forward, Aaron raised his weapon and shouted, "For peace! For the future!" The Xylar warriors answered with fierce cries, charging forward with strength and skill. Aaron fought beside them, using both human tactics and Xylar techniques. The clash was loud and intense, blasts of energy, shouts, and the thundering sound of boots on the ground. Despite the enemy's surprise, Aaron and the Xylar held their ground. They moved as one, protecting every inch of the Enclave. In the middle of the battle, Aaron saw a group of enemy soldiers moving toward the shelter where the children hid. Without hesitation, he sprinted ahead, blocking their path. The fight was close and dangerous. Aaron's human strength and Xylar training helped him hold off the attackers. Just as he began to tire, Xylar warriors arrived, driving the enemy back. The extremists retreated, but the cost was high. The Enclave had suffered damage, and some warriors were wounded. Still, the children were safe. As the sky cleared and quiet returned, Aaron stood with Solara, looking at the peaceful valley below. We defended the future today, Solara said softly. But this is only the beginning. Aaron nodded, knowing she was right. The battle had shown that peace was fragile, and trust even more so. But it had also shown something else, a hope that two worlds could come together, protect the innocent, and build a new future. The valley was quiet after the battle. The sky was painted with soft orange and purple hues as the sun set behind the distant mountains. But inside the Xylar Enclave, the air was thick with both relief and concern. Though the enemy had been driven back, the cost of the fight weighed heavily on everyone. Captain Aaron Kane stood near the healing pools, watching as Xylar medics tended to the wounded warriors. His chest still ached from the old injury, but now new pains came from the battle and the burden he carried. He was no longer just a soldier fighting for his people. He was a protector for the children of his enemy. Silara approached him, her eyes calm but serious. "The attack was only a warning," she said softly. "The extremists will try again." Aaron nodded, his jaw tight. "Then we must be ready. We cannot let fear control us." Silara looked out over the enclave. "You have changed many minds. Here, Aaron. Even those who doubted you now see your courage." Aaron smiled faintly. "I only did what anyone should do, protect the innocent." A group of Xylar warriors gathered nearby, including Jarek, their leader. Jarek's expression was one of respect. "Your bravery saved lives today. You have earned our trust." Aaron felt a deep sense of pride, but also responsibility. "I will keep fighting, not just for you, but for peace between our peoples." The Ai children played quietly in the distance, unaware of the danger they had faced. Aaron's heart ached for them. They deserved a future free of war. That night, Aaron sat with Silara and her council. They planned defenses, shared intelligence, and discussed how to protect their people from future attacks. It was clear the war was far from over, but there was hope. Suddenly, a messenger arrived with urgent news. A human squad was moving quickly toward a nearby settlement where Xylar civilians lived. The extremists planned another strike, this time to destroy homes and break the spirit of the Xylar people. Aaron stood quickly. "We cannot let this happen," Silara nodded. "We will go to them." Aaron joined the Xylar warriors as they prepared to move. His mind raced with strategies and plans. The humans approaching did not know him, did not see the bond he shared with Silara and her children. As they traveled through dense forests and rocky hills, Aaron thought about his own home, his family on Earth, his friends and comrades. He wondered if they would ever understand why he had chosen this path. At the settlement, the group arrived to find destruction already begun. Houses burned and frightened Xylar families ran for safety. The extremists had started their attack. Aaron and the warriors rushed to defend the people. The fight was fierce. Aaron's human training helped him anticipate enemy moves, while the Xylar's technology gave them strength. In the middle of the chaos, Aaron saw a small Xylar child trapped beneath fallen debris. Without hesitation, he rushed to lift the heavy stones and carry the child to safety. The child looked up at Aaron with wide, grateful eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. Aaron smiled, brushing dust from his armor. "You are safe now." The battle continued late into the night. Aaron fought alongside Xylar warriors, moving as one to protect the innocent. The extremists were strong, but Aaron's leadership and courage inspired those around him. By dawn, the attackers were driven away. The settlement was damaged, but lives were saved. Exhausted but determined, Aaron looked at the Xylar people around him. "We will rebuild," he said. "Together." Silara stood beside him, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder. "Your strength is not just in battle, Aaron. It is in your heart." The news of their victory spread quickly. Among humans, some saw Aaron as a hero who might bring peace. Others remained angry and distrustful. But for the Xylar, Aaron was a symbol, a protector who had crossed the line between enemy and family. In the days that followed, Aaron and Silara worked to strengthen bonds between humans and Xylar. They held meetings, shared stories, and planned for a future where their children could live without fear. One evening, as the sun set over the valley, Aaron stood with Silara watching the children play. He felt a deep sense of hope. "Maybe one day," Aaron said quietly, "our peoples will stand together not as enemies but as friends." Solara smiled. That day will come, because of you. Aaron looked up at the stars beginning to twinkle in the darkening sky. The path ahead was still difficult, but he was ready to walk it, for the children, for Solara, and for the chance of a new beginning. The first light of dawn painted the sky with soft pinks and golds. The valley, once scarred by battle, now glowed with the quiet beauty of a new day. Captain Aaron Kane stood on a hill overlooking the Xylar enclave. His heart was full of hope and cautious determination. The past weeks had been difficult, but change was happening. The humans and Xylar were beginning to see each other not as enemies, but as beings who could share a future. Aaron's courage and compassion had sparked something new, a chance for peace. Solara approached quietly, her eyes shining with quiet pride. Today we gather the leaders from both sides, she said. The first council for peace. Aaron nodded. A big step. Solara smiled. A necessary step. Inside a large crystal chamber, Xylar and human leaders sat together for the first time in years. The air was thick with tension and hope. Aaron took a deep breath and looked around. Faces of humans and Xylar, once filled with anger and fear, now showed curiosity and cautious trust. General Marcus Hale, the human commander, spoke first. We have fought long and hard. Too many have suffered. It is time to build a future where our children do not fear each other. Solara responded. Our peoples share this galaxy. War has taken much from us, but today we choose a new path. Aaron stood and spoke with steady confidence. I was once a soldier fighting against the Xylar, but I chose to protect the innocent, even those I did not know. That choice brought me here, to a new family, and a new hope. There were nods and quiet murmurs of agreement. The leaders began to discuss plans for cooperation, sharing resources, protecting children, and building trust. Outside the chamber, children from both sides played together. Their laughter was a promise of the future, a future where differences were not walls, but bridges. Aaron walked beside Solara in the peaceful gardens of the enclave. It feels strange to think of peace after so much war, he said softly. Solara smiled gently. Peace is a seed. It must be nurtured with patience and courage. Aaron looked at her. Thank you for trusting me. Solara placed her hand on his arm. You earned that trust, Aaron. By taking the blow for my children, you showed what true strength means. Months passed, and the alliance between humans and Xylar grew stronger. Trade routes opened, shared schools were built, and joint patrols protected the borderlands. Aaron continued to serve as a protector and symbol of unity. Yet challenges remained. Some humans and Xylar still held on to old fears. But with each act of kindness and courage, those walls began to fall. One evening, Aaron stood with the Xylar, children around a fire. He told stories of Earth, its oceans, mountains, and forests. The children listened with wide eyes, dreaming of places far beyond their valley. A small Xylar boy looked up at Aaron. Will we visit Earth one day? Aaron smiled. Maybe. One day we will explore the stars together. As the firelight danced, on their faces Aaron felt a deep peace. He had taken a blow meant for the enemy's young, and in doing so, had found a new home among them. Together, humans and Xylar were building a future where protection and compassion ruled. The story of Captain Aaron Kane was no longer just about war. It was about hope, unity, and the strength of the human heart.